This is In Touch with Terri, a power-packed podcast for the medical aesthetics industry.
I just discovered your podcast, and I feel like I've hit a gold mine.
She's our inspiration.
This is someone who's got a lot of knowledge. She's been there, done that.
Terri Ross is a former Fortune 500 executive, international speaker, founder and CEO of Terri Ross Consulting, and co-founder of the 4S Summit, a sales and business mastery workshop for aesthetic professionals.
Terri is always approachable, always there for you.
It's nice to have somebody in your corner that can say, I got it.
In Touch with Terri will bring you solutions to increase operational and employee efficiency and practice profitability. Plus, feature some of the top industry experts as guests.
Terri, your courses and your podcast are just so helpful.
She made me feel like I could do this.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Now, here's Terri.
Hey, tribe, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of In Touch with Terri. This is almost wrapping up. I can't even believe it, like season 11. So I want to talk about something that really kind of puts, honestly, like a fire under my belly, which is stop losing patience after the first appointment. Stop losing patience after the first appointment. And this is very serious, okay? Everybody is so worried if I hear one more time, Terri, we need more patients in the door. That's more marketing dollars. We're going to buy a new piece of equipment. We're going to hire another staff member. It, honest to God, it like literally, for the lack, you guys know me, I don't really cut corners. It really kind of pisses me off. And so if you've been listening to me for a while, I want you to take a moment. I want to take a moment and just totally, completely acknowledge you always, my tribe, for taking the time to listen, to invest in your education, and to level up your thinking. I listen to a ton of podcasts as well. And there's so many pearls throughout that resonate with me and help me grow. And if you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for joining in. I do encourage you to go back and listen to the past seasons. There's so many episodes because my whole sole purpose is a movement to make change, to educate you guys on what's possible, to change your mindset, to change your thinking. So this podcast is truly where we have real conversations, no bullshit, no fluff, and to talk about the truth in the industry and what builds a profitable, scalable, increasing enterprise value type of business. So today, this topic is just something that I think is often overlooked. We talk about retention a lot. We talk about the patient journey. We talk about rebooking, but it just doesn't happen. And when I ask people, walk me through your patient journey, they can't. And what do I mean by that? Patients find you in different places. The age range is on a different social media vertical. They might come through a phone call, your website, social media, TikTok, through an event. They're going to come in at different phases. And so I want you guys to think about what is your process today, and is it fragmented? Because that's where you're losing people. So if your retention is not predictable, your revenue is never going to stabilize. That means you're going to continue to spend more money to get new patients in the door. They're not being retained. And so it's back to why I called it this podcast what I did, stop losing patients after the first appointment. So let's talk about the 5 stages of the patient journey. A lot of times practices think, oh, well, it's when they come in the door for the consultation. It's not. It really starts the moment that the practices discover who you are, which means they're sitting at home, they're Googling a problem that they have, and they need to find you. Then when I find you, am I going to get a visceral response to the website? Maybe I'm going to call the practice. How do they sound? How educated are they? What do they say? How knowledgeable are they? Maybe I'm going to DM you on Instagram and I'm going to ask you, like, what do you charge for Botox? And someone's going to automatically give me the answer and click buy. This is really important. If you guys want to stop spending money, save money, I really need you to investigate this patient journey. Okay. So clients are truly, they're finding you and they're saying to themselves, all right, well, what do I like about this practice? Do I love the website? Do I love the person? Can I trust them? Can they give me the results that I'm looking for? Is it going to be worth it? Like, they're in a discovery phase. So the first step to the patient journey is the discovery phase. And here's what people underestimate. They don't realize that your patients make a decision within 15 seconds. They're forming opinions. And so they also equally have to say, not just, am I going to get the results? Are they credentialed? Are they credible? But do I trust the brand? Do I trust the people that are on the website? again, you guys, clinical skills anymore is just one piece of it. Do they specialize in what I need? And what kind of experience are they going to get if they call your practice or come through another vertical? So your unique value proposition needs to be clear. What can you expect when you come to ABC Aesthetics? Can they articulate why you're different? If it's inconsistent, if it's not clear, if it's too generic, if it's just, oh, they're board certified, that is not going to make you different. So I'm going to ask you something. If you could line up your competitors and they could say the same thing, does that make you different? You're probably going to be, because I teach this all the time, you're probably going to be like, shit, okay, there's an exercise. We do it in our sales training program. I need you to identify what makes you different. Number 2 is your booking, okay? So your scheduling. Now that they've decided that you are the place that they want to come into, this is where the conversation, right? The conversation either happens and you're going to gain them, right? Or you're going to lose them. So this is where sometimes it's broken down. So slow responses, you don't have a structure, there's no clear process. The scheduling sometimes is all over the place. And here's the part that I really, really want you to understand. From the patient's perspective, that creates uncertainty with them. So they start to think, gosh, did I choose the right place? How are they going to respond? How quick are they going to respond? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be complicated? What do they say? How much information? Is there any friction? The scheduling is critical. And the inquiry to consult, okay, that there's 2 KPIs I look at. Inquiry to consult, consult to close must be over 70. I need you to investigate that. The top practices are usually in the 80s. If it's below that number, you guys, it's not a marketing problem. It's not a marketing problem. Is your response time lacking? Your communication is inconsistent. You don't have a process. I talk about speed to lead. That is important. Speed to lead matters, but clarity matters. And being able to articulate what is the process when they're scheduling their appointment. Okay. Number 3 in the patient journey is the consultation. So now that they're in your practice, they had to make a decision to book with you in the first place, but the trust is built here. Well, it's either built or lost. So when I ask people, talk to me about your consultation process, they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, walk me through it. How long is the time? Does the client pay? Are you using resources like a cosmetic interest questionnaire, a treatment plan, a skincare regimen, before and after gallery, clinical studies? Like that's what I'm talking about. And a lot of times patients say that their consultation felt rushed. It was transactional. They weren't clear on the results that they were going to get. So oftentimes they don't commit or they don't spend enough money, which leads to a transactional consultation. Or they leave and they don't do anything. And then there's 45% of people not followed up with it all. So, the patients that are in your door, you guys, it's so critical. I'm like, when the door's shut and no one can hear you, is when trust is made, is when you can really get to know that patient. They buy for emotional reasons. They're looking for an outcome. They're looking for results. They're not buying the thing. They're buying happiness. They're buying confidence. They're buying trust. They're buying going on the vacation. That's what they're doing. So you need to make a decision quickly in terms of you guys being very vulnerable and honest with yourself to say, what is my consultation process like? Has my team ever been trained? Are the conversions at 70%? What is the average patient spend? What is your revenue per hour as a provider? What is your retail sales? What is your retention? What is your booking? What is your profit? I literally just listed, I don't even know how many KPIs that are solely tied to the consultation piece by itself. And this is why I have truly devoted my career. I think we've done literally now over 25 to 30 physical on-sites just in 2026 alone. I can't stress the importance of sales training. It's what makes the world go round. And this is how you hold people accountable. This is how you have happy patients and better outcomes, which leads to lifetime value. 4, treatment plan. Okay, so we talked about the consultation. Now we're talking about where we're leaving money on the table. So I always ask when I do the sales training, like, what words come to your mind when you hear the word sales? And most providers tend to say negative words and it makes them feel uncomfortable and they don't want to be pushy. And that's not what the patients came in for. But let's talk about your clinical experience. Hey guys, what are you guys drinking right now? you have an obligation. And that obligation is to ask questions. I don't even think I talk about that in here, but the layer model, your ability to ask good questions uncovers so many things. You break the patient down. You really get to know them. What are they looking for? Why? The why are they there? What's bothering them? How long? How has it made them feel? I'm literally giving you questions right now. Feelings. If they could not wake up and not like the fine lines and wrinkles on their face anymore, and not like the saggy skin on their stomach, or not like the cellulite on their legs, how would it make them feel? Do you think anybody's going to say, oh yeah, I still want that? They will pay any amount of money to feel differently, to feel confident, to get the treatment plan. So you guys, this business is just, you guys see it. I live in Los Angeles. I talk about it all the time on stage. It's too competitive. There's a place on every corner, okay? And I know you guys can feel the competition, so how are you going to stand apart? More importantly, when you go to bed at night, can you really shut your eyes and say, you know what, I totally did the right thing because that patient needed these treatments to get to this outcome? And if you think about it like that, you guys, you are not selling anything. You are giving the patient what they deserve, okay? So that was number 4 in the journey. Number 5 is your retention and referral. Before I just kind of dive into the retention and referral, I can promise you, I literally just got a text about 30 minutes ago from a client who said that he increased his revenue per hour from $800 to $1,300. That's a $500 difference overnight. $500, you guys, over 22 working days is a little over $11,000. So I don't know about you. He's one person. He could literally probably double that. And then he has multiple locations and multiple providers. I want you to think about the money because people say, and I'm going to be a little harsh here because people will call me suffering and they know they have a problem with sales, whether it's conversions or in the treatment plan or in the consultation. Maybe it's a surgeon, maybe it's a derm. They're not cross promoting. And yet they'll think that our fees are high. Well, it's the truth. I mean, you do get what you pay for. People pay for expertise. But if you knew that a proven formula or framework could literally, that's one person. I have multiple stories to share with you. Increase your practice by $100,000 or even $1 million. And we have people increasing by multi-millions of dollars. You guys, you have to just really be honest with yourself and say, maybe my mindset's off. Maybe I have to shift the way that I'm thinking. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you want change, but you're just not ready to execute. But I can promise you that it's going to be very different, this space and world that we're in of aesthetic medicine, with more people coming into the market, integrative wellness kind of taking over. Patients have a lot of choices. They don't have to, choose you. So I want you to be thinking about, if you spend money to acquire a patient and they come in, what does that mean for your business? And I mentioned those KPIs earlier. It means your conversions are going to be higher, happier patients. They have friends. They're going to have higher referrals. All the things I said before. You're going to rebook them to come back in. Your revenue per hour goes up. Conversions go up. Retention goes up. Retail goes up. Revenue goes up. Profitability goes up. I literally just rattled off 10 things, you guys, that this is it. This is it. This is when the rubber literally meets the road. This is how you increase revenue and in your business. There's really no other magic wand I can sprinkle around. We can fix your P&L and fix your prices and fix your compensation. We can do those things. But if sales is a problem, I'm asking you to not turn a blind eye. All right, 5, retention and referrals. Well, now we say, okay, what's next, right? How are you going to grow your database? I don't need you to get more people in the door. I want them to refer other people. So this is about a system. It's about having happy patients that want to come back, that not are drifting away and don't make a decision because they don't trust you or they have to follow up or they want to go have a couple other consults. They need to be anchored. Okay, so we're looking at rebooking, follow-up process, your reviews, your referrals, and your 90 to 180-day retention should be at least 65. Write that down. Okay, right now, 52% of patients do not come back to practices. So I'm like, what the hell are we actually even doing? Really? I mean, are we really willing to spend money to let people come in and then they don't come back? It's crazy. If you guys just go run reports, that is literally free money. Okay, free money right now. So you guys, I'm going to recap it back. The 5 stages of the journey: 1, discovery; 2, booking; okay, 3, your consultation process. 4 is your treatment planning. And 5 is your retention and referrals. And I wanted to keep this tight, short, and sweet. If your patient journey is not defined, bottom line is it's inconsistent. This is not stable. You will constantly be feeling like floundering around, right? It's costing you money and revenue every day because the practices that scale are not the ones with the most leads. They are the ones that invest, or they're the ones that say, you know what, I'm really damn good at what I do, but I never learned the business of aesthetics. I've never invested in sales training. My team is not hitting these KPIs. I don't have a good P&L structure, whatever it is. They're willing to say, I want to go work with experts. I don't know about you. Michelin stars, they have the same star. Like, it's consistency every time. They have the same Michelin star. That's how they get it. So if you want to try to stand out in this marketplace, in this sea of competition right now, you have to be the business that has tight financials, a great culture and leadership, but more importantly, a team that is like 5-star experience. You've mapped out the patient journey. You find the fragmented holes and you're like, shit, I had no idea I'm leaving this much money on the table. And you're not making decisions based on feelings, based on assumptions, like you are analyzing a process. You're going to figure out where it's broken down. And I invite you to call us. Okay, guys. So I hope that you found this super valuable. I can't stress enough, and you can probably see it from my demeanor, that I'm very passionate about this. We know what we do. We know how we help people. But I want you to sit here and just, like I said, be vulnerable, be honest, be open-minded. Maybe you've never looked at it. I want you to identify the holes. And if you are an owner, an entrepreneur, have a business, even if you're new, this is not like waiting for 3 to 5 years to figure it out. I want you to not be scared. And I want you to say, shit, like I literally want to be the best. And if I want to be the best, I'm going to have to get uncomfortable and investigate some of these things. So you guys, that was the 5 steps to the patient journey. The podcast was, I want you to stop losing patients after the first appointment, because that's what happens. You don't have to do it. You're the one that can make it happen. You have to execute. You have to raise your hand, say that you need help, or maybe you're mastering it. But I always tell people, like, raise your hand and raise it a little bit higher. So I'm going to drop the mic right now. I love y'all so much. Keep crushing. Look, we're almost done with Q2. We have another 6 months to go. This is a huge opportunity for you to make some change, right? Make a very pivotal change in your business. So if you found this valuable, please, 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 I would love for you to leave a comment, leave a DM, share it with your peers. This podcast truly has always been for you, with you, but I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll see you on the next episode of In Touch with Terri. Ciao, guys.
Thanks for listening to In Touch with Terri. If you'd like to take your practice further faster, Terri Ross has launched her business and sales mentorship for the first time, and it's available to everyone. No more spending thousands on conferences. Get Terri's expert knowledge for a fraction of the cost. Head over to patreon.com/Terri Ross Consulting and sign up now. We'll have the link in the episode notes to get you in on this groundbreaking offer. This is your chance to get ahead, so don't miss it.